I think about that as well. Like you said, made safe coin. I remember that from the old days. I see Syscoin pop up every now and then. I'm like, you guys are nuts.
Yeah.
So Vertcoin, all this sort of stuff. The only one that's really done it has been Dogecoin, and I didn't pick it. I'm pretty sure you didn't pick it. Yes, that's wild, just to be able to overtake and actually not bleed against Bitcoin and bleed against Ethereum and actually take share away from it.
Yeah,
So
it's true. It's almost like, I feel like we live in a world where memes are fundamentals. It's like, does it have the meme? I don't own Dogecoin. I'm just to be clear, but that's not really a hit against anyone who does, because anyone who does is laughing their way to the bank, right? I mean, so yeah.
But do you dubiously speculate in Dogecoin?
I have spoken about it actually on my channel a couple of times. Mainly because back in 2020, I told people, I was like, look, guys, I don't own it, but it does tend to go up through these parabolic rallies against Bitcoin, right? Like if you just hold it long enough, it usually gets a catalyst, right? So if someone were to ask me today, is Dogecoin going to go higher? I would probably say, yeah, like eventually it probably will go higher. Eventually it will take out these milestones that people are looking for. I wouldn't bet against that. I wouldn't bet against that, right? At all.
Yeah. Speaking of altcoins, what else do you have in the portfolio? If you don't want to mention them because they're too small of a market cap, just mention the size of the market cap. So how many would you say you hold?
Yeah, so I mean, I mainly the main ones that I hold are just 6 of them. So I have, and those are the largest positions that I have by far. So, and those are just Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Avalanche, Polkadot, and Chainlink. Chainlink has actually not been the best performer over the last year. Fortunately, it has done relatively well, through the bear market. So it's still sort of holding its own when you look at, say, the returns it's experienced over the market cycle. But those are the main 6 that I have. There are, of course, others. I sometimes have, I do have some small positions in some other coins. I think Matic is a fairly decent project as well. They're focusing on rollups and whatnot and becoming rollup centric. I think that's very complementary to Ethereum. People always ask me about like these like smaller market cap coins, right? Like micro caps and whatnot. And it would be a lie to say that I've never dabbled in them, right? It's hard. It's certainly hard to say that you've never bought something. It's just that I make the point to not talk about it, right? I don't want to be seen as like, hey, I'm going to go buy this micro cap and then I'm going to like pump it up or something. Like I don't want to do that. So I think the smallest one that I have in my portfolio right now is probably has a market cap of I don't know. I know I have one that has a market cap of less than 300 million.
I was hoping for like a 5 million market cap, but it's probably too small.
So to be completely honest, I mean, like they're probably, I probably have tons of those, right? Like because there's so many wallets over the years that probably have like small dust of things, but like I don't even know what they are or have any desire to go figure out what they are. So yeah, like I probably do have some stuff, and also like now sometimes you just get random airdrops for using different platforms and stuff. So that's happened before. But I don't really consider myself as owning those. I mean, technically, I guess
no stuff that you've consciously gone out to.
Yeah. There's not very many at this point. Mainly because I think it's very distracting. And a lot of times too, you have to think, if you put in, say, like let's say you put in like $10,000 or $1,000 into 10 different micro caps. If all of them go to 0 and one of them goes up 10x, then you're basically back to where you started. Right? If one of them goes up 100x and the others go to 0, then you've made 10x on your investment. But you could also argue that if you had just held Ethereum and you put everything into Ethereum, you could have seen potentially that same return and taken on a lot less risk. So,
it's just patience in that regard.
Yeah.
And a lot of people come in late and they don't have the patience.
Right. Yeah. And right. I mean, I know a lot of micro caps too are I mean, yeah, they've made people a lot of money, but there's tons that never do anything. And so you sort of just have that kind of like survivorship bias of, oh, look at all these ones that went up a lot. There's still a lot that haven't done anything, because we know there's over like 10,000 cryptocurrencies and they're not all going up. And there's actually a lot of non micro caps that they still haven't even put in all-time highs from 2017. Like XRP is a good example of a coin that hasn't put in new all-time highs. Litecoin, I think, went to the prior all-time high, but it, so there's plenty of examples of altcoins that there's huge communities around them, and eventually they'll probably trend up with time. But are they being systematically outperformed by the blue chips? And if they are, then it's like, again, I give this example all the time. If in 2019, if you were loading up on Ethereum as opposed to Litecoin, your Litecoin position, if you loaded up on Litecoin instead, it's down 90% against ETH over the last 2 years. So, and look, a lot of Litecoin people don't like me because I point out these things, and I'm like, look, don't take it up with me, take it up with the data. I'm just telling you what the data shows me is that it's down 90% against Ethereum, and and then anytime it goes up, right, they say, oh, look, I told you it was going to go up, and I'm like, look, Litecoin will probably go up, right? I'd be surprised if it didn't make it to the prior all-time high from 2017. But to give you an example, I mean, for these other blue chips to be below their 2017, 2018 all-time highs, that means we'd have to have a Bitcoin below 20K. We'd have to have Ethereum below $1,400. Ethereum's now at what, 4,500, 4,600. Bitcoin's at 64K. Yeah, and it shows you the opportunity cost, right? The opportunity cost is very important.
Yeah, and you just notice it with a lot of new people that come in. It's just the easiest thing to spout online that you see from a lot of people. Go buy Litecoin, go buy XRP, EOS, all this sort of stuff, and it just doesn't really go anywhere. So they're sort of losing money, but they only reflect on the USD value of that coin. So
right.